Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of this tutorial. So in our part 2, we are going to learn how we can be able to add and configure retrofit. So to add and configure retrofit, as you can see from their website, you just need to add this on your Gradle. Finally, we are going to add even the converter library. The converter library by default helps to, as you can see by default, retrofit can only serialize HTTP bodies on OK HTTPS response body. So we are going to add a converter so that it can support, we can be able to deserialize the other types of response. So for converter, we are going to use JSON. And finally, we are also going to add OK logging interceptor so that we can be able to intercept any post or GET request and the response. As you can see in our demo app, we are able to see when we do a post and we are able to see when the response comes. So let's get to add our retrofit and configure it. Within your Gradle build, add these two dependencies. I'm just going to copy them. And paste them here. So at the point of making this tutorial, retrofit is 281, JSON is 281, and then logging interceptor, let's see, it's 481. All right, sync your project. So the other thing that we are going to create API client that provides us with configuration for retrofit. And here we are going to have public static retrofit get retrofit. And here we are going to have retrofit. Retrofit is equals to new retrofit dot builder dot add converter library, and we are going to add our JSON dot create, and we are going to add base URL. Remember our base URL, it's where our REST API is hosted, and that is API learntech.net. And then we are going to build. For last to log any request that is ongoing and incoming request, we need HTTP logger interceptor, HTTP logger interceptor, which is new, HTTP logger interceptor, HTTP logger interceptor dot set level. We're going to log the body level. And then we're going to have OK HTTP client, which is equals to new OK HTTP client dot builder dot add interceptor, which is now our HTTP login interceptor dot builder. Here we are going to add client, which is OK HTTP client. Finally, we are going to return retrofit. We are going to create user service here, which is an interface. Here we are going to define our calls, and our calls are only two at this point. We have our post call, where we register user using this post, and we have authentication, where we log in user using this post. So what I'm going to do is to create register request. I'm also going to create login request. I'm going to create register response. And we have register login response. So as you can see from the API, let's see from the postman, this is the request, that is username and password. And then this is the response, that is user ID, email, and username. So within the login request, we need private string username, we need private string password. So I'm going to generate getters and setters here. And then within our response, what we are getting is private string user ID, private string email and username. Email, and then we have private string username. I'm going to generate getters and setters. And finally, we have our register request. So it's the same thing as you can see from the register here. Posting user will require this data: username, first name, last name, email, exact date, date, and password. So I'm just going to copy here, register request, username, email, and password. You don't need to post all the data. Then I'm going to generate getters and setters. Then the response that I'm having is when we create a user, get ID, URL, username, first name, last name, email, exact date, and last login. So for me, I just need to get the ID of the user, email, and username. So let's just copy this one, generate getters and setters. So that's all you need. Then within the user service, I'm going to have to post method. I'm going to start by user post. And the first one is authentication. So the reason I'm saying at post authentication is this: when the user is trying to log in, you hit this one with a post and then with authenticate user. Actually, it's authenticate. So we don't need this slash, just remove it. And then you have a call of retrofit. Then the response that you are expecting is login response. And then the method is get our login user. And the parameter we are posting is at boarding, that is login request, login request. And then we have another post. In this one we are posting users, so I'm going to have users. The reason I'm saying this is, as you can see from the REST API, we are posting users post and then users. And I'm going to have call of retrofit. Then we have register response, and this one is register users. And I'm going to have at body register request, register request. Back to my API client, I'm going to have public static user service get service. In this one, I'm going to have user service is equals to get retrofit. This one was supposed to be get retrofit dot create our user service dot class, and we are going to return user service. So everything of Retrofit is now fully configured. We only now need to hit post and request data. So let's learn to make sure we don't have any error. So there we are. Let's see. Oops, we have an error here. Let's see what the error says. So invoke custom alone is supported starting from Android O with a minimum API of 26. So to override this error, you just come to your Gradle. Here, just support. So we are going to add, as you can see here, I'm going to add compile options, and then I'm going to have Android version 1.8. So we have compile options, Java, that is Java 1.8, and target compatibility Java 1.8. Now let's learn again. So we don't have any error, zero errors. It's now launching. There we are. So at this point, we still can't be able to log in or register since we have not now added or finalized the post and the request bit, which now we are going to do in part 3. So thank you guys for watching this part 2 of the tutorial. We have been able to add and configure Retrofit. So let's get started. Or stay tuned so that you don't miss part 3, which will be now the final part.